Hi, and welcome to Best in Tesla and the new show Overflow, episode 56. Full self-driving has hit the streets of Europe and are blowing people's mind. Even the mayor of Rome has said that now he wants to promote this technology. And Tesla is seeing some strong demand in China, while Honda is getting ready to restructure. And Ford and basically all other legacy automakers are dropping in EV sales in the US after the EV tax credit end. But Tesla is actually gaining market share. And we might just have witnessed the quickest ramp in production in 100 years of automotive history. And Mary Barra is about to swallow yet another camel. And Mobileye says they will remove LiDAR from their full self-driving system in the future. All of this and much more in today's episode. Start right in.
Let's put our living stereo stylus in this groove.
So, full self-driving has been hitting the streets of Europe, and like I've said many times before, when Europeans get to experience it, because not many people know what Tesla's cars is capable of in the US, well, their mind will be blown. And that is exactly what is happening. We have a lot of videos coming in from all over Europe with people testing out full self-driving supervised. So much so that Tesla quickly sold out of all their test drive in many of the countries for the rest of the year. So Tesla has decided to extend the period of which you can do a test drive to the end of March 2026. As we also saw German journalists experience the system with this headline that wrote, "Better than any driver? Tesla's supervised assistant was put to the test." And as he wrote, did it recognize the construction shown ahead? Yes, the white Tesla Model 3 signals, find a gap and overtakes. I'm sitting next to it as we drive through Berlin. The safety driver doesn't intervene. The new driver assist system takes over braking, accelerating and steering all smoothly without jerking. Capital city traffic, construction zone, traffic jams, and the car remains composed as if it were perfectly normal. What I experienced in Berlin is already commonplace in China and the US. Yes, exactly. Many manufacturers has offered comprehensive driver assist system that navigate through cities or allow hands-free driving on highway. Europe is lagging behind. Approval for Tesla would send a strong signal and increase the pressure on others to follow suit. Conclusion: Tesla's full self-driving supervised sees more than I do. It cannot be distracted and is never exhausted. I imagine myself to be a good driver, but I cannot match the all-around visibility of the system. It becomes most powerful with both working together, my experience and the constant attention of the Tesla. Yes, exactly. This is exactly why the EU regulators should approve this system as fast as possible. Because the car is driving itself, but it is still supervised by us human, and that is already what we're doing today, just with a much less capable system as we have access to in our Teslas here in Europe. So it makes absolutely no sense whatsoever to hold this system back, and we have been waiting since May for the first approval in the Netherlands, as the new system is many orders of magnitude better than what we have access to today here in Europe. So the safety will only go up with the new and better and more capable system. And we still have human oversight. So, as the journalist says, the combination of full self-driving supervised and human experience is unmatched in the industry. That is also why Tesla can show their facts and data in their impact report that Tesla's cars with full self-driving turned on are 10 times safer than a human driver on their own. It really shouldn't take almost a year to approve this technology, as even an 8-year-old kid can see this is much safer solution. The only one that can't see it might be Dan or Dawn, but he is a child we just can't reach. And we also saw this video of the system handling very small Italian roads with ease. This might be surprising for some, but for us who actually follows along and watch videos of full self-driving, we know that the Chinese has already pushed this system to the test on small dirt roads in the mountains with no cellular signal available and still handles everything perfectly. So this is not surprising at all. And we have had so many great reviews of the drives here in Europe, but Nick shared this one that hit the nail on the head. It was insane, confident, smooth. I could say it drives better than the average driver. If people will have this tech in their car, they won't want to go back to a non-self-driving car again. It's a game changer. Yes, Europe is waking up, and the demand for Tesla's cars in 2026 will probably be off the chart when we hopefully have full self-driving supervised available. Because we even saw Rome's mayor and the commissioner for transportation and mobility having a test drive demo of full self-driving, and as Full Self-Driving Italy wrote on X, the commissioner emphasizes interest in promoting this technology, which could improve road safety in Rome, and express eagerness for the city to lead in experimenting with new technologies. So that's very good to hear. So this is just such a good move from Tesla with this full self-driving test drives in Europe, as everyone now seems to be waking up and realizing what Tesla has will make the roads safer in Europe. So we are really starting to see some good momentum for full self-driving in Europe with these test drives and approval in Spain and Sweden, as we have seen as well. So I am more and more confident that we will see Tesla full self-driving supervised approved in the Netherlands in February. And that will give every other country a loophole to approve with this exception as well in their country. So hopefully that means by the end of 2026, most of Europe will have approved Tesla's full self-driving supervised. And we are seeing that test drives are also now available in the Netherlands. So we have Italy, Germany, France, and now the Netherlands as well. And we are seeing people's mind being blown over the capabilities of this system. And just to underscore Tesla's lead in this technology, there is not a single other automaker on the planet or robotaxi company that would be able to do what Tesla does here. Tesla is simply just letting their system drive itself in the cities, on the countrysides, everywhere, basically in Germany, Netherlands, France, Italy, China, the US, Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, and Canada. BMW, Mercedes, or any other German automaker don't have a system that can do this. Waymo would not be able to do this. They would have to map every square centimeter of the places they want to drive. So to drive all these places that Tesla's cars are driving now supervised for now would take Waymo something like 100 years to map. It's simply just not feasible for Waymo to do what Tesla does. And this is just the beginning for Tesla. But the demand for Tesla's cars are not going away and not collapsing in China either, as some journalists have tried to say. And is actually growing in market share in the US as well. Even though we have heard for the last many years that Tesla sales in China are collapsing, well, the truth is that Tesla did actually grow in China in 2024, even though we had so many headlines about Tesla sales collapsing in China that year. And BYD was this untouchable force in China, but just as BYD stumbles a bit in China, with their sales dropping year over year, we see Tesla actually back growing in China in November, as Michael Dawn wrote. Tesla is still finding a way in brutally competitive China, up 10% in November. Tesla sales in China in 2023, 603,000. In 2024, 657,000, and 2025, 630,000 forecasted. Tesla scores a sales win in China just as its rival BYD stumbled. And as Roland also shared, in November, Tesla Giga Shanghai wholesales, including exports, were 86,700 Model 3s and Ys. This is a 9.9% year-over-year increase, as I just showed from Michael, and up 51% month-over-month. Oh yes, all that crazy demand problems that Tesla has. Just as Sawyer also shared what I have reported on in other news shows, but as he wrote, Tesla has sold more cars in Norway in 2025 than any other automakers ever did in a full year. New registration data shows beating the country's annual sales record with 1 month to spare. So, as Brian Wright also wrote to that post, crazy how sales are devastatingly low, and then, a boat arrives and sales go back to higher levels. Yes, this is something I have been debunking every quarter for the last 5 years. When will the haters learn? Probably never. But in the US, we have seen some huge drop in sales of electric vehicles from the legacy automakers thanks to the ending of the EV tax credit. As we can see, Honda says US sales of its electric Prologue EV plunged 86.2% year over year in November 2025, dropping to just 903 units from 608 units in November 2024, following the end of the federal EV tax credit. Last year, the Prologue was the number 2 best-selling electric SUV in the US behind the Model Y. But the bad news doesn't stop there for Honda, as Honda will undergo a major restructuring in its China operations, where Dongfeng sells its stakes in the loss-making engine joint venture to GAC Honda, driven by a 20% year-over-year sales decline to 520,000 vehicles through October 2025 amid the EV market's dominance. And don't forget, as I showed in my video this week about the legacy automakers collapse in China, that in 2020 Honda sold over 1 million units in China. But we do see sales are down as expected with most automakers in EV sales after the EV tax credit ended. Also saw Force EV, such as the Mustang Mach-E and the F-150 Lightning, were down about 61% in November from last year. Overall, the EV segment was down 30% year over year, of course, because of the ending of the EV tax credit. As we could also see in September was the record month of EV sales because everyone was scrambling to get an EV before the ending of the EV tax credit. But what about Tesla? Because according to many haters, they are now doomed because of the ending of the EV tax credit, and at the same time, of course, suffering from severe brand damage. Well, as expected, Tesla is down, but only 11% year over year. So on average, the EV segment is down 30%, and Tesla was only down 11%. So that actually means that Tesla is up in market share in October to 54.3%. So again, everyone else combined sell less EV in the US than Tesla. And everyone else is losing money selling those EVs, and Tesla is making money. So I'm sorry, but what competition are everyone talking about? We surely don't see any real competition here in the US. And just as I have been saying, ever since we learned Trump would get rid of the EV tax credit, that would no doubt hurt Tesla, but it would hurt everyone else much more. And we can see here with the first month that is exactly what is happening. So I think Tesla's genius move of making the more affordable Model Y and 3 come out just as the EV tax credit is ending is playing out nicely for Tesla, making sure they didn't drop as much in the first month of the quarter, and going to be very interesting to see how they will do in November and December, as the competition is now all backing down. Because it's not like people don't want EVs, as we can see in the used market, EVs are actually up in October by 36%. And don't forget, there is a big difference between Tesla's business model and legacy automakers' business model. Tesla's sales numbers are actually sales numbers to customers, and legacy automakers' numbers are just them selling their cars to their dealerships. And as we could see in October, EV days supply rose sharply to 76 days, up almost 64% month over month. And don't forget, in Q3, Tesla had 10 days worth of inventory. Tesla is selling all the EVs they make, and the others have theirs sit at their dealerships. And I have personally just bought a new Model Y Premium yesterday. But as Tesla is sold out in Denmark for the rest of the year, and in January, I can't get mine before February because Tesla has to make my car first, as there is none in inventory. And luckily, Tesla has a deal right now of transferring full self-driving at the moment in Denmark. So I have transferred my full self-driving package from my 6-year-old Tesla Model 3 to my new Tesla Model Y. So crossing my fingers that in the first half of 2026, I will finally have full self-driving supervised in Europe and be able to use my software I purchased almost 7 years ago at that point. But I will, of course, keep you in the loop. But one thing I just got confirmed once again is just how amazing Tesla software is. As I was there at the Tesla store checking out my car and buying it with these deals, I just had to open my app and choose to buy a new car, and voila, 2 seconds later the car already showed up in my app. Just without a VIN number, as it's not made yet. But compare that to going to a normal dealership and having to go through hell to buy a car and tons of paperwork. Here it took less than a minute, because I already knew what I wanted, for it to show up in my app. So when I need to go get the car, I don't need a key card or anything. It's already in my app. I just go, pick up my car, get into the car, drive away. And all my settings from a previous Model Y will be in the car, my favorite navigation point and all my personal setting, because it's all saved to my personal profile. There is just nothing quite like having a Tesla when it comes to software. And Tesla is of course not just a car company, so as Ryan also shared on X, just how amazing Tesla software is.
The Tesla app is showing me live weather, as well as showing me all of the energy stats of the house. And then you swipe across and it shows me what our car is doing, its location, that the aircon's on, the temperature. This is how good Tesla software is.
And let's squeeze in the last short news topics into this new show. Yes, it's time for the Tesla shorts. And we might have the quickest ramp to scale in production in 100 years of automotive history. As Xiaomi said on Monday, it delivered over 40,000 electric vehicles in November, its third consecutive month above that threshold. This comes as Xiaomi last week announced that its 500th vehicle rolled off the production line in Beijing, a remarkable milestone for a brand that only entered the automotive industry 19 months ago. I don't think any other automaker has ramped this quickly. If you know of anyone, please let me know in the comments down below. And one Chinese car company we don't hear too much about is Chery. As Michael Dunn also wrote on X, the ultimate dark horse, close to 3 million deliveries in 2025. That is very impressive. More than 1.2 million export. Well, that is more than even BYD. So again, very impressive, as Michael also wrote, China's #1 car exporter. Explosive growth in the UK under Jayco brand. That might be overselling it a bit, as they are still a very small player in Europe, and even in the UK they are not even in the top 20 of EV brands, but they are as big as Geely and Xpeng here in Europe, so definitely not bad, and a brand that we will probably see a lot more to here in Europe and other places. And GM CEO Mary Barra had another camel to swallow this week, as Teslarati reported. GM CEO Mary Barra said to Andrew Sokin at the New York Times Dealbook Summit that she pulled President Biden aside and said Tesla CEO Elon Musk deserved the credit for EVs. He has credited me, and I said, actually, I think a lot of the credits goes to Elon Musk and Tesla. Barry said, you know me, Andrew, I don't want to take credit for things. Well, I would say that would have been a great thing to say in public after he did it, but instead Mary, in many interviews afterward, just said that GM was the leader and would never give up their leading position to anyone. And I don't think a lot of the credits go to Elon and Tesla. I think all the credits go to Elon and Tesla, but I guess better late than never. And I did make a whole video yesterday about Optimus Robot and the new videos of its running and new hand. So check that one out if you want to learn more and why Tesla has such a big advantage compared to basically everyone else. Like I said, it's not what the robot can do that will matter much in the end, but after Tesla had shown off their robot's exceptional running skills, Figure was asked, your move, and Brad, CEO of Figure, responded with this video of their robot also doing some extremely smooth running. Very impressive. But if you wanted to know why this doesn't really matter much in the competition against Tesla, check out my video from yesterday. But just a fun little fact here, this video shows a DARPA challenge in 2015. This is about where we were just 10 years ago, and now it's hard to distinguish between robot movements and humans. We have come a long way in just 1 decade. It's hard to even imagine where we will be in another 10. And Dylan Loomers from Electrified made a very cool test of full self-driving in the snow. Here's just a little clip of how it does on summer tires versus winter tires and how it handles the snow.
So only a few yards up the hill and the car throws it in reverse and says, nope, not going to happen. But then on its own, before I intervened at all, it tried it again. And attempt number 2 by FSD threw up the red steering wheel. So at this point in my head, I'm thinking, all right, cool. I'm still a better driver than FSD. Watch me go up this hill on my summer tires, driving manually, no problem. So I get on where there's a bit more powder, and then I'm like, all right, we're good. But I got to this crest and could not make it. And just started sliding backwards, even with my foot on the accelerator. Then a mild panic on the way down, hoping no cars were coming as cross traffic. And then feeling a bit defeated, I realized I needed to go home and get the Model Y with snow tires to see how it would handle it. So I'm now back in my wife's Model Y with Michelin X-Ice snow tires we just got this year. And here's attempt number 1 up the same hill on FSD, also in hurry mode. Then a few seconds in, I knew it had it, no problem at all. So here's the argument for snow tires. Not every day will you be going up or down hills like this, but in the event you need to, snow tires do make all of the difference. And even in hurry on the way down, the car was going very slow. So again, confirming it absolutely knows it needs to change its behavior on snow.
Great video as always from Dylan, and yes, remember, to get your winter tires on your car, it does make a huge difference. And with all this talk about Tesla's full self-driving and how it's handling all of this all over the world with no LiDAR, well, on top of Tesla showing the whole world how it's done, we are now seeing more full self-driving companies getting rid of, you guessed it, LiDAR. Yes, Mobileye has just said that they might remove all LiDAR and going pure vision plus 4D image radar once the data prove it's safe. So they say a future phase will drop all side and rear LiDARs and keeping just the front one, and then another phase will potentially remove the last one completely. And here I was being told by so many people that I was wrong, that full self-driving cars need LiDAR. Well, what do you know? So Mobileye is ditching LiDAR. Luminar, the LiDAR company, is going bankrupt. So sorry, but for Waymo to still be relying on LiDAR is because they started with this technology and have not done that shift to the new technology that came along. But Tesla did, and now many others are following. Elon was right. Anyone relying on LiDAR is doomed. And as Alex also pointed out, with the patent shared by Ming about Tesla using a kind of sunglasses for the cameras that wrote, Tesla cameras have sunglasses, therefore have no issues driving directly into the low-hanging sun and in bright snow condition. Cameras are all you need for fully autonomous vehicles, and anyone claiming different sensors are needed is using bad technology, has no clue, or both. Yes, indeed. And while most haters are busy screaming that Tesla and Elon Musk has overpromised and underdelivered on full self-driving, they are completely forgetting all the promises the legacy automakers have made, like this one from Ford. Ford's next-generation Project T3 electric pickup truck, set to debut in 2025, will drive itself while you sleep. Jim Farley, March 2023. So as Drive Tesla Canada wrote, Ford has less than 1 month to debut the Project T3 electric pickup truck with full self-driving system that allows you to fall asleep behind the wheel. But where is everyone screaming about broken promises from Ford? Well, I guess it somehow must be Elon's fault, right? But Mark here did actually try out Ford's full self-driving.
I'm on the road and it's snowing, and I just thought I'd make a quick video. I'm here on full self-drive in our Ford. So that's me driving fully myself, and it's not fun. So this is what Ford has to offer. But we do have CarPlay, so that's pretty great. Count your blessings.
And the Boeing company wrote, "Big day in Nashville. First cut-ahead spin of Provoke MB1 welcomed the Tennessee Mine Rescue Association, who delivered an emergency response trailer and scheduled drills." So the Boeing company has officially started digging for their next big project in Nashville. It will be very interesting to follow this development. That is all we have time for in this Overflow news show. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button. It really does help this video out a lot so others can find it on YouTube. And if you did like it, maybe you want to consider hitting that subscribe button, notification bell, so you don't miss out on future videos just like this one, and help this channel grow so we can spread the word of the EV revolution and get the facts out there to a lot more people. And if you're already a subscriber to the channel, thank you so much for the support. But if you want to support the channel even more, remember you can, for as little as $1, become a patron of this channel, or become a member of the YouTube channel to get a shout out as some extra perks like early access, ad-free versions of my videos, exclusive videos. So hit the members button or check out Patreon to find out more. And don't forget to follow me on X. I post pretty much all the news as it comes out and a lot more. And check out the merch store to get some merchandise and support the show. It is also possible to support the show without becoming a member or a patron. There is a donation option down below or on my website bestintesla.com. You can also become an executive producer and get news articles, exclusive videos, behind the scenes, and access to all my research charts and spreadsheets also on bestintesla.com, or as simple as hitting the super like button. And thank you for watching. And until next time, take care out there. Be nice.